Hey guys, PFL Swift here, and today I want to bring you my um, PFL Tier One rankings. I'm gonna place them in the tier. Explain a bit about what I think of them. Talk about them for a sec, and let's just get through it. Maybe have some anecdotes about them in past seasons. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. First off, we're gonna talk about Age of Slash. Age of Slash banned. Got slight nerf. We've brought it down. A lot of Pokemon have come out, kind of help beat it too, and it's super bulky when you need to be bulky. It's super powerful when you need to be powerful. Um, Versatile with Toxic Protect sets. Set up with Calm Mind or Swords Dance. All in all, it's a great Pokemon. It has probably more stats than any Pokemon in the game in a way, because it does have that full 150s everywhere, but only has certain stats at certain times. It is counterable. Subsets can kind of mess it over a bit too. Um, it's it's still so scary to deal with. Like if you see it on a roster, you kind of have to run with it. Like, so for that reason, I reckon it's probably still an S tier. Yeah, some things might move around. We'll see. Alakazam, remember the original 150. Great Pokemon. Magic Guard Life Orb is very powerful. It also got access to Nasty Plot. That's why it's in tier 1 now. Calm Mind, Psychic Terrain, ton of coverage. It's frail though. In regular leagues now, it would probably be very high. Because of no pursuit. No, for me. However, I think because we do use pursuit, I can't rank it any higher than C maybe. It's too frail. It does get caught off by dark types, bulky psychic types, stuff like that. It only has one stab. It is super frail, and for that reason, it does have to be tier C for me. I would say Nasty Plot boosted it, which is why it's no longer in tier 2, but it didn't boost it up high enough to be higher than that. Azumarill, Thick Fat, Sap Zipper, and the main one, Huge Power. Super good Pokemon, in my opinion. Can run a Bandage, can run the Belly Drum set, run an AV, you can run the Perish Trap. The recovery lets it down, but Water Fairy typing is interesting. True, you want one of this size to be more defensive, but I think it's a B tier. It's decent coverage too, but it doesn't. There's Pokemon in tier 1 that are going to be much better than it, which is why I can't really place it any higher than B. It's better than Zam. I got the C tier Azumarill too, I think. It's definitely D tier might be reserved for stuff that's borderline, could see drop in the tier 2. Actually, yeah, Zam's gonna be D because it is borderline. If it didn't have Nasty Plot, it would be tier 2. So I'm gonna put Zam in D, even though I love it. Celesteela, your lead seed set, your Protect, Beast Boost, everyone knows it. Heavy Slam. However, it can run Weakness Policy, it can run Atomize, super bulky, doesn't get recovery or default, etc. So, I would say it's not the worst steel plan, but it's definitely not the best. I'm going to B tier that because it can run mixed, it's super bulky, it's powerful, decent coverage, but also brilliant defensive typing, really. Cinderace gets Quartz Range. It isn't the variant of Libero, whatever way you want to pronounce it. So, It could be borderline tier 2. It's so fast though and so powerful. Powerball's fantastic in core change. I'm on a B tier Cinderace. Actually, you know what? It is too good for tier 2. S tier for Clefable. I'm gonna put it there right away. My that's better than that. Okay, so Clefable has Magic Guard. It has Unaware, two fantastic abilities. Gets Teleport now too. So it was already probably the best fairy in the game, in my opinion. And with Teleport, it just makes it so much better. It didn't lose anything this gen. It just gained more. Gets Stealth Rock, gets Wish, gets Moonlight, gets Soft Boil, gets Moonblast, Flamethrower. I mean, it can Toxic Stall, it just does everything. It can run Belly Drum if you're feeling spicy, really. It's disgusting, and it is probably one of the best Pokemon in Draft League. Statistically, it's not even that great. Statistically, it's mediocre at best. But yeah, it's just insane. Like the coverage, the move pool, the abilities, just so good. One thing it didn't have before was momentum, and now with the minus priority and teleport, like it's the perfect partner for anything you want to run as a sweep, like a breaker or a sweeper. So yeah, it's S tier for me. Corviknight, not quite as good as Gmax. Gmax is broken. I mean, anyone with Gmax Corviknight can just do whatever they want. Definitely the best steel plan. I put straight Knight here. Gets I don't think it gets Stealth. It does get default, it gets Roost, it gets U-turn, it gets Brave Bird, it gets Ironhead. Fantastic setup with bulk up or iron defense, with body press. So yeah, it is a fantastic Pokemon. It's better than the Aegislash. It's more versatile than the Aegislash, but I feel you can kind of have a switch into Corviknight. You can't pressure it out. It does give pressure, ironically too. Mirror Armor's great for like intimidate mons. Pokemon trying to shadow ball you and everything else, trying to drop your special defense. So that's good too. I don't think it does have good defense, not so much special defense, but the recovery, the U-turn default puts it above Celesteela for me. Cresselia is a weird one. It's normally tier 2, tier 3 some leagues. We put it tier 1 because it is so bulky, but honestly, it is somewhat passive. It gets great setup though. We do feel like it's a bit too broken for tier 1. You get stored power now too, or it will whenever that comes out. So yeah, that's gonna be a C for me. Is it better than Zimmerl? It's different. It's recovery. Yeah, go for it. I'm probably gonna get a lot of stick for this tier list. This is just my opinion. This is where I feel I find them usefully in, like, for example, I would take Corviknight over Steela, I'd take Clefable and Aegislash. I suppose, yeah. It's just the way it is. Darmanitan. A lot of people are telling me it's overrated. Due to my stance on Darmanitan as a whole, I still think it's borderline valuable. We do a lot of guerrilla tactics, so it's just insane, the power. You could have a switch, but one U-turn and that switch is gone. Decent coverage too. It's just so powerful. I would probably say it's borderline on the ban. So I would put that actually ahead of Clefable. For that reason, it's just so good. You can put the thing that makes this better than regular Darmanitan is guerrilla tactics. I mean, you could run banded Darmanitan to break anything. You could run banded. You can run Scarf on Darmanitan and still get that banded bonus. It's just insane. Doesn't belong in the tier if you ask me. It can miss with Ice Crash, but you could run Ice Punch. An Ice Punch from Darmanitan technically hurts more than a Flare Blitz from, or an Ice Punch from Galarian Dorm technically hurts more than a Flare Blitz than from regular Dorm. It's nuts. Dracovish was touted to be broken early on. People have learned how to deal with it. Still fantastic, not overly fast, but it is decently bulky. Seriously powerful. I wonder if, like, water absorb, obviously, bulky waters can somewhat come in, not a lot. Nah, bulky waters can't really come in, especially in rain. Seismitoad, um, Gastrodon, Quagsire, them kind of Pokemon like to come in on it. Poliwrath gets water absorb, I believe, maybe. I'm not too sure about the viability of that one, but it can do it. Dryskin Heliolisk can take it, but it doesn't want to take anything else. I still think it's. I know it is in my overrated video because it was on the point of everyone was talking about it being ban worthy. I'm gonna call it a B tier, I think. Is it better than Hazard? That's versatile, but does it have as much breaking potential? It's faster. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in B tier. Dragon Ball S tier, straight up. So fast, so powerful, can run any sort of spectrum of attack. It's Dragon Dance, it's nuts. That's just the Hex is a bit mad too. Phantom Force, it's only physical hit, so that's a drawback for it, but I still think it's S tier. It's got momentum, it's got the speed, it's got the power. A little bit frail. You could Sucker Punch and Pursuit, actually. Wow. Nah, yeah, I'm gonna go S tier because, yeah, until proven otherwise, I think it belongs there. Dragonite is probably one of my Pokemon to be biased towards. I'm gonna try and be objective about it as possible. Dragonite's hard to use, let's be honest here. It gets multi-scale. The weakness policy sets are a pain to deal with. Dragon Dance, but it is slowish. It's super powerful. It's decent bulk as well. I think if it had better flying coverage, it would be OP. Realistically, Dragon is a good type offensively, but you want your other stabs to be available. Like would be a best example. Like I don't know. Like how Mega Salamence became broken because it had a return. With early, obviously the stat boost too, but that kind of pushed away. I'm going to call Dragonite maybe C tier. Dugtrio, trapping, that's what it does. Decently fast, decently powerful, stealth rock, but I think it's a D tier. You know what? People say trapping's fantastic, and I agree with them. You have to run shade shell prep wise. But when you actually have this thing, and you're giving up so much in a tier 1. Like, there's so much tier 1s. Like, when you draft a tier 1, you want it to do so much. And Dugtrio can't do that. Like, there can be games where, yeah, you want to trap the steel type. More often than not, the shed shell. You've done their item, great, fantastic. At the end of the day, you still don't get that steel type if there's around shed shell. And realistically, Earthquake from this thing isn't powerful enough to even take out anything it's not super effective to. Even then, like, you could have a bulky Pokemon and it won't take it out with a super effective hit. And it's so frail. Any sort of priority on top of whatever, you're just left holding an extra Pokeball for the crack. I would call it D tier. I could even see it being tier 2 to be honest. Excadrill, A tier, maybe. I would say Excadrill's better than Corviknight. What stops it from being S tier? Common weaknesses maybe, like water, fighting, ground. It's not overly fast, it's fast-ish, but then weaknesses kind of pull it back. Rapid Spin gives it a big buff. I don't think it's still on the same level as the likes. Unless you have it in sand, then it's a whole different story. Mold Breaker's handy. Yeah, I'm gonna put an S here. Simply because Mold Breaker breaks those Magic Bounce Pokemon, which isn't as much in Draft League, but it is like in Not Dex. It also it gets so it can toxic Magic Bouncers. It can Stealth Rock against Magic Bouncers. Mold Breaker also stops things like Fluffy, etc. as well. Levitate on Rotons. Yeah, it does. It deserves S. There's nothing else that gets set up. It's a fantastic Pokemon. Scarf's great too. Garchomp, A tier. It's better than Corviknight, I think so anyway. It's fast, it's powerful, it's bulky, it's great ability, so you could run it Scarf, you could run it Banded, you could run it Sword of Dance, you can run Sub, you can run it Stealth Rock, you can run Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet if you want. It's too much going for it. It's only weak to Ice, quad weak to Ice, so weak to Fairy, and weak to Dragon, I believe. Is that it? That might be it. All of which are somewhat, even if it's not super effective, it's not taking it out. With the exception of the Ice weakness, it's quad. Deserves A tier. Gengar, A tier as well. It lost Levitate, which hurt it. But let's be honest, it's so fast, it's so powerful. Good offensive typing. I still think Ghost, another reason why the 3 Ghosts here are so high, is I think Ghost is one of those stabs that is just ridiculously good. If you look at the top here, I don't think really, other than Mega Lopunny, I'm not too sure Mega Kine, but they're Megas. I don't really see much normals about, so that's the immunity out of the way. And that one, it's got good setup. It's got Will-O-Wisp, it's got Haze. If anything, I think it's probably underrated in some places. Like, I know it's high up, but it's so good. It doesn't really have any drawbacks. It can absorb T-Spikes as well, which is a bonus. Immune to fighting and normal. Gets Taunt too. Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, whatever you want. Toxic is never miss on Poison types too. I think Poison's so good, but the Poison Pokemon available aren't so much. Just my opinion. You got Mega Venusaur obviously, but that's a Mega. You've got Gengar, you've got, what else have we got? Nothing really in tier 1, that's for sure. So yeah, Astro Ninja, I'm gonna go D tier because it never hits moves, it's pointless. That's missing. That's S tier. Okay, so let's revise this. Is that order right? I think Greninja needs to be banned. Borderline on that one. I don't know. It'll be there, kind of hovering about. We'll see at the end of the season when I think of it. It can be hard. It seems to be hard to proc the ability at the minute for Chris. With missing hydros, etc. Did get a couple of kills this week. A couple last week, so it's obviously not awful. Spikes, poison spikes, like everything Greninja gets, but it gets a wee stop boost if you get a kill at the end. Without it, I would say it's tier 2. Without Battle Bond, that is. That's it really. Gyarados, Dragon Dance, Bounce, Waterfall, Crunch, Liquidation, what's it called? Power Whip. I got, so much moves. Moxie, Intimidate as well. I'm gonna put that in A tier. Yeah. It's got too much going for it. It's bulky as well. Can't recover, quad big deal, Electric. Rock, yeah, I'll B tier it, but I'll put it at the front of the B tier. It's a solid Pokemon. It can run special if you really want, like, with Flamethrower and stuff like that, but it's up to you, really. Hatterene, this is a weird one, I don't have any experience with it, really. I've only ever faced it once with the Gigantamax. Actually seen Trick Room. It is bulky. It looks like really bulky, decent coverage, Trick Room, powerful as heck. I'm gonna B tier it with a wee apostrophe thing on it saying not enough information. Well, Leech is a weird one. Leech could be tier 2, realistically. It's not that great. In general, it needs chip, it needs a lot of support. It has a lot of things wrong for it, but with terrain and unburden, that just pushed it completely out. Before that kind of whole era, it was tier 2. It's just a little lacking. It's fast, which is fair. Its speed is actually its greatest asset, simply because once unburden procs, you can basically run full HP on it. So my glasses are stinking. You run full HP and outspeed most of the game anyway. Sometimes you maybe might need 24 or something. I used it in the league before with Tapu Koko, and I think it got near 40 odd kills, maybe 50. It was something ridiculous like that. And basically how I did it was basically I had done sparse, believe it or not, with Dragon Tail. So things I couldn't quite get chipped down around Dragon Tail with Stealth Rock, kind of chipped them down that way, and basically got stuff weak enough. I kind of prepped the percentage beforehand and figured out what I needed to get down. And to be honest, it wasn't that difficult because it was such like little margins that needed to happen. For that reason, it does need terrain though, so that takes away from it. I'm gonna C tier it, put it beside little zoom roller. Heat run. So bulky. Quad weak to ground, slow, weak to water, weak to fighting. Same things that Excadrill is weak to in a way that I was willing to drop that to A. Whenever Excadrill was so diverse. Heat run can rock. It's bulky. It's powerful, but it's not that fast. I'm gonna A tier Heat Ran, with the caveat that it's probably up here somewhere. Simply because it's quite weak to grind. Is a big one, but also it's not that fast. It doesn't get recovery, but it's also immune to toxic and will-o-wisp. I'll swap it with Chomp. Yeah, I don't know, it's so good. But I don't want to end up with 14 Pokemon in S tier. It's borderline. It's borderline at best. How high is it the wall? Let's be real here. Bulky fire type common wallet. Good earth power. You can do fucking toxic then. Bulky water. Okay, they're common enough. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in A tier. HPU overpowered. Too strong for A tier or too strong for tier 2. But we do. Yeah, that's it. That's C tier. I cover a video on that and why it's overpowered. It's so weak to U-turn. I just don't like it. I don't know anyone who's used it that love it, apart from maybe one person. And even then, I don't really much else to say about it. Dragon, A tier. Straight up. So good. 90th speed. Okay-ish attack, but great special attack. It gets Defog, it gets T-Wave, it gets Roost, it gets Dark Pulse, it gets Draco, it gets Flash Cannon, it gets Flamethrower, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's great. Also could be a great part of your fighting psychic dark type core if you really want it. Infernape, Stealth Rock, makes attacker, hits both sides equally as hard, fast, somewhat bulky, runs bulk up, nasty plot. It's A tier. Probably better than Hydreigon, better than Gengar, and yeah, I'll put it there. Gets Iron Fist, which is okay. Thunder Punch, Drain Punch. I don't know if it gets Drain Punch. It gets close combat though, so it's really one of them. Blaze Kick, Flamethrower, Focus Blast, Vacuum Wave, Fake Out, Stealth Rock, Will-o-Wisp, whatever you want. Jirachi is probably one of my favourite athlete Pokemon. That's A tier. I'm gonna actually put it here. Maybe here, yeah. I'm gonna put it there because I think it's that good. I'll probably get a lot of people disagreeing with me, but Thunder Wave Ironhead, I completely hate it, but you understand why it's so good. It gets Wish, it gets Ironhead, it gets U-Turn, it gets Stealth Rock, Flash Cannon, you can run it mixed with Thunderbolt, Side Shock, Zen Headbutt, U-Turn, whatever. It's insane. It's beautiful versatility. It's just brutal. You run a physically bulky, especially bulky. You run a fast, support, whatever. Yeah, it's tier 1 for a reason. Cortana, frail, fast, powerful. C tier for Cortana. Good weak to fire. Don't even matters. Honestly, it doesn't matter what it's weak to. You hit it on that weaker side and it just drops. Unless it's poison, obviously. I don't know what this grass type move it could resist that. I'd say a leaf storm superior would still do a decent chunk, to be honest. Um, Probably not, but it gets more powerful as it goes. It's fast, it gets beast boost. I'd say if it didn't get beast boost, it would probably be tier C. Countdown. I love Countdown, man. Flip turn helps it. Scald. Setup. Both sides, calm mind. Okay ability, I guess. Doesn't help it the most. I want a B tier Kildale. I do love it, but honestly, it's fast, but I just think it doesn't get enough coverage for my liking. Any coverage it gets, it's on the physical side, which isn't ideal. Poor Kildale, so for that reason, B tier. Cool. I don't even know why it's in this tier. I'm D tier. It gets Clangor Soul, which is banned in PFL. Decent abilities, decent bulk, stealth rocks, blah blah blah. There's tier 2s that can do that too, really. I don't think it belongs. It's better than Dugtrio. Called weak the fairy, weak the ice, weak the psychic, weak the flying. I don't know. I don't get on with it. For that reason, I'm biased as hell. Sure, get it, but it's D tier for me. Here in black, I'm gonna S tier that bad boy. It's allowed skill shot, which boosted speed. It couldn't do that before. We banned Dragon Dance, otherwise it would be sitting right at the top. It's so bulky. Fantastic ability with Mold Breaker, technically terrible. Ice Dragon, Bolt Strike, Iron. It's not even that it gets versatility with the Ice Electric combo, but it's powerful combo at that. Ice Spear helps it. If it got Icicle Crash or Ice Punch, it would be gone. So I can't be too bothered with that. Lando T, meta defining garbage. Sick of looking at fantastic Pokemon. Intimidate, U-turn, Defog, Stealth Rocks, Earthquake, powerful, double dance. What do you want? It does it. Immune to ground, immune to electric. It's not. It's so good. It's definitely better than Heat Realm. It's better than Jirachi, realistically. Yeah, Lando T. It's borderline S. Latias, B tier. Why? Not A tier. Not A tier here. It's a little more. Yeah, it's a little better than Gengar, probably. Yeah, a little better than Gengar. Latios will probably go right beside it, actually. Different rules, but both equally as good. Latias slightly more defensive. Defog, Healing Wish, Roost, whatever. It's fantastic. Thunder Wave, all that fun. Latios, Dragon Dance, Calm Mind, Thunderbolt, Psychic, Shadow Ball, whatever you want to use it for. It's great. Psychic and Dragon, so Draco as well. Don't know why I thought it was fine for a second. My head's a bit. McGearna, definitely banned, in my opinion. Shift gear is broken, its typing's fantastic, so bulky, can run physical or special. A little slow, but yeah, encouraged. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's been suspect tested too. The reason we allowed some of these Pokemon actually was because we brought Kang and Aegis last down. We thought, you know what, we'll try it with a couple more. We voted a few, they came down. Um, what's a run? Realistically, stored power. I think that's a new move, and it just breaks it. We've seen that in game in week 2 there, where Nair just absolutely smashed through Darius with it, and it just kept getting stronger as it got more. Got completely out of control. Yeah, sorry bad for that, Nolan. Manaphy, I'm gonna go for B tier. Tail Glow, Calm Mind, Hydration, Rain Dance. Better than Keldeo? Keldeo was borderline A. I'll settle in there. All the water types just sitting there together, well, apart from Greninja, of course. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna A tier Greninja. Why? Because it doesn't need that kill to get the boost. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Sure, why not? Who were talking about you? Who was I talking about? It was Manaphy. Tail Glow. Surf. Energy Ball. Momentum. It's good. Rain Dance. A good set. Calm Mind. But it is very dependent on setup. I feel if you haven't set this up, you're kind of just sitting there for no reason. Dracovish also on the tier, which is water. So yeah, I can't go higher than B for Manaphy. I don't even have a lot to say about it. It's okay. It's too good for tier 2, but it just sits there smack bang in the middle. Mega Altaria is a hard one to do for me. It can be broken. Dragon Dance can hit special, it can hit so many different ways, but it doesn't translate as well. Its ability, Pixelate, helps it, yeah, sure. Cotton Guard. It's weak to poison, weak to fairy, weak to ice. Sort of niche types to be weak to. I think I'm gonna A tier. Simply Megas probably will be a bit higher realistically. Aerodactyl, I'm gonna A tier that too. Fast, strong. Insanic gets a speed boost. Its Tough Claws ability is fantastic, although it doesn't use them as well. It kind of boosts non-stabs more than stabs, unless you use aerial or wing attack or whatever you want. Gets Hone Claws, boost that accuracy with Stealth Rock. It's so fast. It's one of the fastest Pokemon in the game. So realistically, you can normally run more bulk on it every week. Some leagues it's tier 2, but I think it is up there. Mega DNC A tier as well. Probably jumps up to like. DNC. Yeah, I'll stick it there. Magic Bounce, Rock Polish. We don't even need Rock Polish really with the speed boost, 110. Diamond Storm can boost its speed F, but it's just so frail, man. I don't know, you can wall it somewhat, take a hit, and realistically, if you've got steel coverage, you can probably bop it. Priority Steel, Bullet Punch, doesn't like that, doesn't like Aqua Jet, sorry. Hiccups. It's okay. Fantastic Pokemon, but it does have its drawbacks, which prevents it from moving up the S. Mega Galeon's a strange one. It's fast, it's got good coverage, it's strong. You say the same thing about all the Megas, really. I don't know. B? Middle of the road, better than Keldeo, I suppose. Yeah, Keldeo can run items. Yeah. Its ability is meh. You can't flinch. That doesn't help it. Can't be intimidated now, which helps, I suppose. Good coverage. Yeah, it's alright. It's a good Pokemon. The only question is the other Megas better than it? Like Deontay? Yes. Well, Deontay definitely. Mega Altaria, I would say yes. Mega Dactyl. Barely, but they're all quite close together anyway. Mega Garchomp, I love. I won't put it C tier. Most people probably feel it's D tier. I think it's better than Dragonite, yes. Better than Cresselia, yes. Better than Lucci, yes. Better than, yeah, I'm going to put it right there. The reason being, one of the highest attacks in the game of 170. Very high defense, decent HP, it's Stealth Rock. Now, the high attack is something that a lot of people don't consider when they write this off. Garchomp is more powerful than your base 110s. I think maybe also base 120s with zero investment. Now that means you could run max HP, you could run max speed, or you can have it kind of in that middle sort of way I spoke about the monotone rule, where it comes in and it hits things hard. Like people want it to do the Garchomp rule, which is to come in, outspeed and sweep. No, get it in on something. Is it 92 base speed maybe? So it's just a little bit slower than the Darm, which is 95. You're probably talking 78. So most bulky Pokemon won't have that sort of. They won't have that. They won't have that speed investments, and an adamant Mega Garchomp can chew through that. Especially in sand. If you have it in sand, even better. It two shots things like Ferrothorn, stuff like that, which would normally be a problem for like regular Garchomp. People are harsh on Megachomp. Although if you want to move to tier 2, I'll be happy because I'll probably pick it up. It is one of my favourite Megas. I acknowledge its shortcomings, its weakness to ice, its weakness to fairy. But oh my, it's fantastic. You know what? Actually, no. I'm not going to be dictated by what other people think. I'm going to put it in B tier because I genuinely love this thing. It is so strong. It can hit specially as well. It hits specially better than regular Garchomp. And with Sand Force, it's great. I mean, sure, Rough Skin would have been awesome for the bulk, but it's not like you get the recovery of leftovers or anything, so I think it's great. It deserves to be in B. It's fantastic. Gardevoir, A tier. Not many switch-ins to its stabs. It is so powerful. It is also kind of bulky. Gets wish support. Gets decent coverage. It's just a powerhouse. Good wisp. Gets. I don't know what else I can say. Like it's Heal Bell. Hyper Voice. The thing with Pixelatemons is the Hyper Voice problem is it is susceptible to throat chop. Which is a thing now. But I mean, it's still hard to switch into. I mean, sure, if you're sitting in front of it with whatever, you can still take it. Heracross, it's too slow for me. I think it's dropped to the 78, something like that. I'm gonna see tier. It's so strong, good ability. If you get it behind the sub, it's terrifying. It breaks things, but it's core weakness to fire, it's core weakness to flying, weakness to fire, weakness to fairy. It does sort of. It's one of those Pokemon. Yes, it can break something in front of it, but let's say you have a bulky flying. Most bulky flyings would probably outspeed with the right investment, and you wouldn't even need attack investments to take it down. Better than Dragonite, no. Better than Hibby, yes, but everything is, in my opinion. So yeah, Cross goes there. Mega Kang, I'm gonna go A tier. Better than Greninja. Yeah, go for it. It's got well-rounded stats. 105 speed. Was it boosted to 100 attack, but Parental Bond, which got nerfed, which is why it's legal. Hits twice, power-up punches as good as Sword Stance. Yeah, it's fantastic still. Would I take it over Excadrill? No, because it's a Mega Slot, hard to come by. The Clefable, no. Yeah. The reason I put it down as well is with that nerf, it took a lot of power away from it, but it also kept its real frailty to Rocky Helmet, which is likely to come every time you battle. It's the same as Beedrill, Mega Beedrill. You're probably going to face you're probably going to face a Rocky Helmet, and get chipped down. Probably rocks as well, but kind of doesn't matter about that much. Mega Mawile, I'm going to A tiered as well. It's slow, but it's got good ability. But it's hyper slow. It's not even like a little bit slow, it's super slow. It'll be good in Trick Room, yes. It gets Sucker Punch, okay. nothing can switch in it really. Nothing wants to. And two hit KO probably most of the things in the game. Swords dance, sucker punch can do quite a lot. Obviously with sucker punch, you're susceptible to will o wisp or whatever if you're not gonna hit. So yeah, it's fantastic. Still, it was banned before. It's not now. A lot of stuff's come out since then. So yeah, Mega Metacham, you need a bulky psychic or you are toast. And I'll put that right at the top of. Actually, no, I'll put it in the middle of A tier ish. But I'll have that in dancing, no, because it's slower. I'll have a heat round, no, heat round's more versatile. I'll have a Corviknight, yeah. Corviknight's kind of like that middle barrier where you're kind of shifting towards stuff. Well, hang on. Gengar goes up there. Nah, it's been slipping down ever since. Yeah, sweet. Bit of a mess, but yeah. Mancham, high jump kick, Zen headbutt, drain punch, bulk up, where pure power is what makes it broken. I love it. It's great. That's all I can say about it really. It was the first Mega I actually ever used, competitively ish. I mean, it was the first one I used against actual people in Wi-Fi battling. The say we were competitive is a bit of a stretch. Saying that sound competitive now is probably a bit of a stretch too because we'll have different levels to what we consider competitive. Pinsir is going to be sort of bottom of A tier. It's great. Gets the sword stance up. It's great. Gets a quick attack with boosts. It's aerial. It's somewhat bulky. Got a lot of weaknesses. Very one-dimensional. You know what it's going to do. It's probably going to be a defensive set, realistically. Quad weak to rocks. Quad weak to rock in general. Drawbacks keep it like it's still A tier though. It's still fantastic. It's still brilliant. Mega Subway. Man, I don't even want to list this thing. I hate it. I hate everything it stands for, but it's so good. Realistically, it's probably better than on most of these things because it gets so much setup. It's so bulky. Magic Bounce is a pain unless you have Mold Breaker, which Excadrill can kind of sort that out, but even then. So yeah, Mega Sableye. I mean, it does what it does. Therefore, Mega Scissor. I'm gonna put in B tier. Powerful, but quite weak to fire. Gets U-turn, but it's about all it gets. Gets bug bite. Gets super power. Gets knockoff. Yeah, but I mean, it's either bulky with a bit of setup, or it's setup and hit, or it's momentum. Can use defog, but I think losing leftovers hurts somewhat. But I don't know. Is it a waste of a defogger? I mean, sure, I can sit there and do it. It's a bulky steel, which is good for your cores, which is probably why I'm as generous as a B. I do really, really enjoy Mega Scissor, but I feel like its actual stab attacks don't go high enough to justify putting it higher. It's the whole thing is technician. So realistically, the highest attack you're getting is going to be base 90 for stab anyway. And even then, Mega Sharpedo, I'm going to put it at the bottom of B. I think it's great. I know I traded it. I just hadn't set up the team the right way, to be honest, to get the most out of it. I'd have been better off with something like Clefable to kind of slow teleport into it. I messed up when I was drafting the team. I really wanted to try it, and I didn't back it up properly. And sadly, it had to go. For something with a lot more speed. I was getting speed checked by 110s, and Excelgor wasn't cutting it, so I did need to kind of change that up a bit. But it is so strong. As you've seen in my battle with Blair, I probably would have been 6-0'd if I didn't have Sharpedo. We've seen it happen to Dylan, where he had stuff, he couldn't break a single Pokemon on that team. And I think for that reason, Sharpedo actually be a bit nuts to sit with better into the Mega Swampert. Needs rain. I'm going to C tier it. It's bulky, it's powerful, yes, but without rain, it's barely tier 1. To Too slow, called weak to grass, which every Pokemon in the game gets now apparently. Also, we do allow hidden power. Grass not as devastating to it. Called weak to freeze dry, which everyone brings when they see a Megan Swampert with rain. That's what it is. Deserves being C. Mega Tyranitar, does it lose speed? I think Mega Tyranitar doesn't lose speed, but it's heck of bulk. So powerful. I'm gonna C tier it. B tier it, sorry. Tyranitar's a hard one. It's hard to use. You can't Dragon Dance, so they're super bulky, so probably I think it has probably the highest base stats in the game. It's not legendary, if I remember correctly, like 720 or something. I think it was more. I know people like its special attack. I think it was more based. If the 3 bit more speed on it, it probably would have been bannable, really. The sand helps but hurts. I think the reason I'm putting it in B tier is because once you draft Mega Tyranitar, you're kind of committing to running the sand. Some people don't say it as a negative. Sand is a good one for chipping, but it also hurts, like, say you want a grass type and learn synthesis. It really does start to, once you draft that sand weather, you kind of start to limit what else you can draft in a way. So I would call that a good B. Mega Venusaur, I'm going to put it up in A tier. Bulky, super strong, decent speed, recovery. Never miss toxics are good. Biased as shit because Bulbasaur is the first Pokemon. Let's be real. Gets out of power now. Weather Ball. If you're running Venusaur and Sun though, you're mental. It is somewhat bulky with Flick Fat and the full health recovery. That's interesting. Actually, you could run it with the Sun team. You could also run it with the Rain team. I mean, really? Yeah. That's great. That's interesting. Maybe worth trying that sometime. Grab Ninetales or Torkoal or something. I think any weather setters or Sun get momentum, which is a shame. But yeah. Defensive Sun? Nah, it's not a thing. Sun's really an offensive, volatile kind of weather, realistically. And I need to scroll down a bit to get access to the rest of the Pokemon. We still have a good chunk to go. Mega Alakazam, I'm going to S tier it. Honestly. You know what annoys me? What winds me up? Before I used Alakazam in PFL, everyone just didn't care about it at all. Now it's drafted every freaking season. I made finals with it with some fantastic things, some fantastic tools at my disposal, like Barrier, Miracle Eye, Charge Beam. We can't mind because I think it's facing Skarmory or something. It's not bannable, but I think it's right up there with the best Pokemon. With Nasty Plot now, it's probably bannable. Fantastic coverage. Trace is a great ability. I loved it. So I even when you're facing rain, Swift Swim, you can just pump in on that, piggyback off that. Charizard S tier. Am I biased? Maybe. Fantastic. I love it. I prefer it over Charizard. Why? Simply because it's Dragon type, doesn't have that weather, which can be more of a hindrance. I think Megas' weather setters kind of loses the tone a bit because you can't run the stone, the rock appropriate. So it's kind of hard. You don't want your Mega to be the setup of weather. So yeah, for that Charizard with its tough claws, its Dragon Dance, its Roost, its all its moves, it deserves the top tier. Love it. For all the reasons I just said about weather setters, blah blah. Yes, it boosts its solar beam, it boosts its fire attacks. It's got a massive fire attack. I'm gonna put Charizard right up there with A tier. Gonna be unpopular. Call weak to rocks. Can't run boots. Necrozma, I'm slowly learning this. Probably B tier at best. The problem is coverage. It gets that fantastic special attack. Gets all that boosting. It gets so much stuff going for it. It doesn't like to be toxic, and it doesn't get the coverage. A bulky dark type kind of just shuts it off. You don't want to be running Brick Break unless you're on Dragon Dance. Even then, that's it does set up on both sides, but I'm still gonna B tier. It gets Stealth Rock. It kind of does a lot of things, but doesn't do them amazingly, in my opinion. Raikou, I love Raikou, but I'm still gonna C tier. It's Scald now, which is interesting. Relatively bulky, but I can see it. Actually, on D tier. I can see it being tier. I can't think of a reason to why it's not tier 2. Honestly. Salamence, B tier. Intimidate's great, Defog's great, Dragon Dance is great, Moxie's great, Dragon Claw is great. Take a Brave Bird? No. I can't remember its physical great. Flanders, sorry. Oh, gets one. Fly. Sorry. Fly, that's it. Fly, literally. What's its fly move? There you go. Salamence is a good Pokemon, middle of the road, does its job. Scissor, I think it should be tier 2 as well, actually. More I think about it. Doesn't get the bulk of Mega. It's okay. Doesn't get the powerful enough stab. You have the Sword Stance. With it to get the most out of it. You have to run Swarm if you want to run Curse. It's Defogging is okay. Rain Teams, it boosts its abilities a bit, but other than that, meh. Superior loses, doesn't have enough versatility, like not versatility. It gets Defog, it gets Synthesis, it gets Contrary with Leaf Storm, it gets Dragon Pulse, it gets Glare, so it is a decent utility mon. Because you never really have to run special attack on it, but it doesn't get enough coverage for my liking. Although it is my favourite Gen 5 starter, it's what I used in my playthrough. Skarmy, I'm gonna B tier it, Spikes. Actually going bottom of C tier. It is borderline almost tier 2able, but with Spikes and stuff like that. Wrist Defog, Body Press pushed it up. Well, I'm gonna D tier it, but high D tier. Almost droppable, maybe not quite. Tapu Fini, B tier. Above these, actually, why is it Mega Scissor below Cortana? That makes no sense. Its ability's great. It kind of stops you from where are the Frazzle sticks? There it is. It kind of stops you from hitting Dragon Spam. It stops you from status in Pokemon. With its Misty Terrain, it's decent bulk. Doesn't get recovery. It doesn't get decent bulk. It gets fantastic bulk. It's a Water Fairy in that core you want. With the combination of pure bulk, gets Defog, gets good power, gets Calm Mind. So yeah, that's B tier for me. Tapu Koko, A tier, kind of top end of A tier, I believe. Yep, kind of. Electric Terrain is great. It boosts its electric attacks. Now the reason Tapu Fini kind of gets messed over there is Misty Terrain doesn't boost Fairy typing, and I do not understand why. It really should. It would make this thing so much better. But yeah, it gets Electric Terrain. It gets a lot of coverage. Gets Roost. Gets Defog. They all get Nature's Madness, which is a great move. Whereas Tapu Koko also gets the momentum as well, the power and the speed. No, it's bulky, of course. Tapu Lele is going to be high A tier for me. Almost S. It kind of, its niche is more setup terrain, but still S tier for me. It can 2-hit KO, bulky steals, with specs, etc. It is nuts. It is fantastic. Call me crazy. C tier for Draco. its stab, close combat's fantastic, but I don't think rock as a stab physically is that great. Time out targets crunch. It's the dark type which helps. Whereas Ardette, I guess, home claws. My problem with Terrakion is its weaknesses are very common. It gets stealth arc, it gets double dance, which is why it is in tier 2. But a lot of times you want to be running Stone Edge over everything else, and it kind of messes it up a bit. Thunderous Therian. I'm going to A tier it. Prankster's great. Nasty Plot, Defog, Powerful, Taunt. Mixter Special. It's also the faster one. I think it's 111 speed. Yeah, it's a beautiful Pokemon. Definitely worth having in your team. Second best electric flying in my opinion. Therian is a lot more powerful, but it gets Volt Absorb, but the loss in speed hurts it. I know it's still 101. It's just I think it's better to have the speed in this case than the attack. I'm gonna A tier. It's kind of weird. Tornadus is kind of the worst collection. Recording again. Stop. Actually, stop recording. Capture. Okay, I'm back on again. Sorry about that. I accidentally closed the window down, which stopped recording, which is a shame. I'm gonna have to double that up. What one was it? Tornadus is a weird one because it is actually probably Tornadus, the collection, is probably the worst of the lot. However, this one happens to be much better in general. With its generator, it gets fantastic coverage too. I think it's the only one that actually gets decent flying coverage too. I don't even know if they even get. I think they get fly, and that's about it. So that's why I actually really like Tornadus. I think it's the only pure flying type in the game as well. Yeah. The Tyranitar, I could argue for almost being tier 2. Yes, it gets Dragon Dance, it's heavy, quite weak to fighting, weak to ground, weak to steel, weak to fairy. It does mind special attacks more, but that's more to do with ability. And once again, if you draft it, you're limiting what you can pick. The Shifu Rapid Strike is going to be high in A tier 2. Great stabs with water fighting. The Surgeon Strike is great. Nothing bad I can really say about it, to be honest. That wasn't nobody there. Or Shifu. Single Strike, I'm going to put right up there because it needs banned, in my opinion. Or at least Wicked Blow. I'm going to actually put it ahead of Dorm. Because if it's in the team, it just chews through. You don't really have much of a choice but let something drop. So yeah, that's S tier for me. Victini, I'm gonna put an A tier. The reason I would put Victini above a lot of the other 100, I think this is an important point to make. Is something can have a high base attack stat, like Mega Banette. Let's see what else. Mega Banette, Mega Scissor, stuff like that. If you don't have the powerful attack, now Victini has V-Create, which is monstrous, and the reason I put Victini there above them is because it can use it so well. Yes, it drops its defenses and its speed, but at that point you've kind of done the damage anyway. Volcarona with the introduction of heavy duty boots, I'm going to A tier it. I think it gets defog, but it can definitely run bulky, it can run quiver dance, it can run so much coverage, with psychic, bug buzz, flamethrower, giga drain, whatever you want. It doesn't really get walled by anything with hidden power ground, it doesn't get walled by heat run that way. So I think that deserves to be high up there. I still think Kang kind of deserves to be almost S tier, to be honest. Weavile, I'm going to C tier. Fast, powerful, knockoff, brilliant with band. But most of all, it really checks those quad ice weaknesses like Dragonite, Salamence, Garchomp with its ice shard. Sometimes not even quad weaknesses, Lando as well. There's so much there. It's not even what its moves itself, it's what it can deal with that is a fear for so many teams that it really shows its value. Pressure's an okay ability too. Zapdos, best electric flan in my opinion, is going to go right at the top of A tier. Beside, you know what, I'd rather have Zapdos than Tornadus to be honest. So really powerful, decent speed, good bulk. It can run the weakness policy set that I've talked about. Yeah, it deserves to be A tier. It's getting shorter because this video is so long. It's probably near an hour. Zeraora is A tier for me. Fast, powerful, meh. Close combat, plasma fists, volt absorb. Yeah. I'm gonna high A tier Zygarde as well because it's ridiculously bulky and 1,000 arrows. I'm actually gonna S tier it at the bottom. I do rank it that highly. Dragon Dance, Curse, is it Curse? Coil, actually, Coil. Yeah, it deserves it. It's unreal. It's bloody brilliant. Sandforce Lando, I would probably. It's faster than regular Lando, so a low A tier for it. I think Intimidate is what puts Landos over the edge. I think Lando T might be more powerful. Might be wrong with that. It does all the same things, but it doesn't have that Intimidate. So therefore not as bulky. Mew, S tier. I think Mew has now reached the point where it has too much coverage, and you could argue for it to be banned. Dragon Dance, Flare Blitz, we've seen Donald use twice. Flip Turn, it gets everything. It's just too much. It's way too much. Prepping for it to be a nightmare. You get your standard Will-O-Wisp sets, blah blah blah, but yeah, that's too much. It's just too much. Nasty Plot. Let's get Nasty Plot now, maybe? I don't know. Is Nasty Plot a trick? A TR? What are they called? No, I forget what they're called. Mega Blastoise, I'm gonna C tier it. It gets Rapid Spin with boosted speed, it gets Flip Turn, blah blah blah. Actually, I'm gonna D tier it. The reason is bulky, it's powerful, blah blah blah, but we don't allow it to use Shell Smash. Without that, I don't think it deserves to be. I don't even think it deserves to be a tier 1. To be honest, I think it should be tier 2. In my opinion. That's what it is. Lopunny, right up there in S tier where it belongs. It's one of those Pokemon that is absolutely brutal to face. Unless you have Mega Swampert apparently. But yeah, I would pick Mega Lopunny as my Mega every day of the week if it ever reaches me. I was always a normal type enthusiast. I was probably one of those people, like I had a normal type gym back in PFL when it was first conceived as a gym league, and honestly when Lopunny finally got released I was over the moon. Because obviously Kang was banned, and Lopunny just does it all now. It gets U-turn, it gets close combat. It's just extra. Cosmic Power Set, you know what, you don't even need Ice Punch or whatever it is you want to run. You can run Power Punch, you can run Return, you can run Close Combat, or you can use it as a U-turner if you really want. But I mean, Lopunny's a Pokemon you want to be U-turning into. It's not the Pokemon you want to be getting in for something else. So yeah, it's right up there in S tier. And that's basically it. That was a long slog. Tier 2 is probably going to be a nightmare. Tier 3 is going to be an hour and 5 minutes. Yeah. So, anything you disagree with, I'd actually probably skimmed over the video, so anything you agree with, let me know. Anything you disagree with, same. And if you want a tier 2, this will be a long haul. Let me know. Until next time, stay creative. Over here, like, subscribe, and press the bell button. Bye.